Thank you. Good morning, everyone. The Housing, Urban Development and Zoning Committee meeting will be called to order for February 22nd, 2022. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Davis,
Present.
Alderman Cone, Alderman Coder, Alderwoman Boyd, Alderman Muhammad,
Here.
Alderwoman Martin,
Present.
Alderman Narayan,
Here.
Alderwoman Evans,
Present.
Chairman Boyd,
Present.
Alderman Cone.
Present.
Thank you. Alderman Coder,
Here.
Alderwoman Boyd. Eight present.
Here. Sorry.
Madam Clerk,
8 present, you have quorum.
thank you. I'll entertain a motion for approval of the minutes dated February the 8th, 2022.
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Davis,
Aye.
Alderman Cone,
Aye.
Alderman Coder,
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd, Alderman Muhammad,
Aye.
Alderwoman Martin,
Aye.
Alderman Narayan,
Aye.
Alderwoman Evans,
Aye.
Chairman Boyd.
Aye.
8 aye votes.
Thank you. By your vote, you approved the minutes for February 8th, 2022. We have 2 board bills today. First board bill we're going to take up is Board Bill 152, sponsored by Alderman John Collins Muhammad. Alderman Muhammad, you're recognized on Board Bill 152.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. Board Bill 152 is a companion board bill to a previous board bill that we passed out of HUD's and out of the Board of Aldermen earlier this session. What the board bill does is authorizes a Chapter 99 for scattered sites in the College Hill neighborhood. And as you guys know, we passed that companion bill earlier this session, which was a blighting board bill. So this is just following up with that Chapter 99. With that, Mr. Chairman, I would take any questions if the members have any, but I would ask for your favorable consideration and passage of this board bill. Thank you.
Okay, we'll see if the committee has any questions. Alderwoman Davis.
No question, sir.
Alderman Cone.
No question.
Alderman Kochar.
No questions.
Alderwoman Pam Boyd. Alderwoman Martin.
No questions.
Alderman Narayan.
No questions.
Alderwoman Evans.
No questions.
Okay, I don't see any speakers signed up for Board Bill 152. Muhammad, you're recognized to close on 152.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With that, I would like to renew my request and ask for passage of Board Bill 152 out of the HUD's committee.
I
You wanna
move
make
that
a
we pass
motion?
Board Bill 152 out with a due pass recommendation.
Okay,
Second.
Been moved in a second.
Previous roll.
Previous roll.
Hearing no objection to previous roll, Board Bill 152 comes out of committee with a due pass recommendation. Next board bill before us is Board Bill 144, sponsored by Alderman Kochar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Board Bill 144 is pretty straightforward. It's a 10-year abatement at 50% for a couple of buildings at 744 to 50 South 4th Street. Anyone who's driven through downtown is probably familiar with this stretch. These are some of the oldest buildings in the city, and certainly the oldest continuous stretch of buildings down in the downtown neighborhood. They have been deteriorating for a number of years. And Barry Adelstein, who I believe is on the call and available if there's any particular questions, him or Craig Heller, who's assisting him with this project, are here. But what they've done is they've purchased these buildings finally from a a property owner who was, demolishing them by neglect, and are saving these buildings and turning them into sort of a quasi. They're saving the front facades and turning it into a sort of a outdoor music venue that's going to work closely with the Game 6 Honky Tonk, which is the bar on the corner there. It's about a $900,000 project. It's going to create between 20 and 25 full-time equivalent jobs, just shy of $1 million in development costs. That's all I've got, and I'm happy. And, Barry's done a ton in this stretch. He's also saved several of the buildings under the train tracks there, right at 4th and Shodo. So this is a major priority for us to get this area cleaned up.
Okay, we'll go around and ask if any committee members have questions of you or the developer. Alderwoman Davis.
Mr. Chairman, I don't have any questions. I just will give kudos to those who are interested in keeping our city thriving and moving forward. So that sounds like an exciting project. Thank you very much, Alderman Coder, Mr. Barry Adelstein, and most especially the developer who has lots of experience that is helping him. Thank you.
Alderman Cone.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm curious, Alderman. So what are we offering here?
Sorry, it's a 10-year, 50% abatement.
Okay. All right.
And I believe
thank
it's
you.
the only incentives, since we're only really saving the facades of some of these buildings, like they don't qualify for historic tax credits.
Right. Understood. I'm familiar with the site. It's unfortunate that it's been neglected to the point where it's currently at. So it's positive to hear that there's some interest in trying to repurpose the buildings and save them. Certainly a good part of our history has been lost downtown. So whatever we can salvage at this point is important to our history as a city. Appreciate that. And thank you to Craig and Mr. Adelstein. Haven't heard those names in a little bit, so it's good to see that they're still doing work here in the city.
Okay. Alderman Pam Boyd. Alderman Muhammad.
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Alderwoman Martin.
Good morning. I'm sorry, I missed when Alderman Cone asked what exactly this is asking for. I missed it because it cut out. I don't know if anyone else is having internet problems, but I am, or connection problems.
If
you can just repeat that, sorry.
It's a 10-year property tax abatement at 50%.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Alderman Narayan.
No questions. Thank you.
Alderwoman Evans. You're on mute, Alderwoman Evans.
No
I know
question.
I was gonna say everything's frozen on my end, Chairman.
I see, I understand.
Yeah, having a little bit of problem here, but I'm okay.
I got it. I'm having a little problems too. Thank goodness I got 2 different devices I'm messing with. Okay, let's go open it up for public comment. We only have 1 speaker who has signed up with no particular position. I would like to recognize Mr. Jerry Connolly. Okay, good morning, Mr. Connolly.
Good morning, Chairman Boyd. How are you this morning?
I'm fine, thank you for asking. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Do you promise or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth, sir?
Yes, I do.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Comments I have on this particular board bill, I'm hoping that the staff present from SLDC might be able to address them. The first one is, given that this project is under $1 million, I'm interested as to what is the location of this project in terms of the guidance for tax abatement from the abatement map, which I believe was updated in early 2021. And I don't know if someone could speak to that from SLDC as to, is it a 10-year at 50% or is it different? So that's item number one. Item number two, there's a little bit of confusion in my mind as to the correlation of the street addresses in the board bill and the actual parcel addresses. According to the assessor, it does show some taxes are not current, and I realize the assessor record might not be 100% accurate, but does SLDC or the board, verify with the collector of revenue that the taxes are up to date prior to a bill like this coming before committee? The third one is I just took a quick drive down there on Friday afternoon, and there's no physical notice. And my understanding from the Chapter 99 statute is that there does have to be physical notice of this public hearing, posted at the location, and there was no evidence of that on that 700 block of South 4th Street. And then the final item is, has work already started? Because just looking at Google Street View from last spring, 2021, compared to what's happening now, it does appear that at both those structures, particularly the one further south, where the facade and the back of the building is intact, it does appear that there has been work performed. So those are the areas I think I'd like to hear clarification from SLDC staff and from the appropriate people on the committee. Thank you.
Alderman Coulter, you want to take that?
I'll try to take some of these. Regarding Mr. Conley's first question about, how this falls into the map. Frankly, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to it as we sit here today. I know that SLDC staff looked at the financials of this project. It is under $1 million, so I'm not sure. Well, also the map I thought was for, I can't remember if the map we did was for residential projects or not. This is obviously a commercial project. So I'm not sure it would even fall into the HUD's map for abatements we did several sessions ago with Chairman Rohde. Regarding back taxes, I'm not familiar. I know Barry closed on these buildings towards the end of last year. If any taxes aren't paid, those will certainly get cleared up, or they may have been cleared up at closing and just not be reflected online yet. But I think Barry's got a strong record, and if there's a back tax issue, he'll certainly take care of that. I know the previous property owner, he had a history of waiting until the last minute, letting the taxes go delinquent for several years and then paying them up. So we'll certainly look into that. And then regarding whether work has started, I know there's been some preliminary work on the site to clear debris because frankly, it was a danger in spilling into the streets. But there is still quite a bit of work to do on the site.
Alderman Boyd, can I speak
Yes.
on a few points?
Yeah. Go ahead, Zach. Zach,
Zach-
tell everybody who you are, please.
Zach Wilson with SLDC in Simmons Department. We received this application back in last year, so in November it went in front of LCRA. So once we receive the application and we score it and it was presented, we allowed the work to start, and that's when we was introduced last year also at the Board of Aldermen. It just got into HUD's at a late point in time. Also, with back taxes, we address those when we activate the tax abatement also. So if there's any back taxes, we do not activate tax abatement. It's kind of, we make sure all taxes are paid before the tax abatement is enacted. The third thing, commercial properties under $1 million, it's kind of a gray area. It does not go by the map, but we do score it internally. This project scored 5 out of 5 at 10 years at 50%. We don't send the model out publicly because that's not part of the policy, but we do have a model ready if anybody requests that information.
Zach, just to be clear on the posting, because I know a lot of zonings get posted and 2 days later the posting disappears.
Correct,
Whether
yes.
different things happen, but it was posted appropriately, right?
We send the sheets out to NSOs. NSOs go out and post these documents on polls. It really depends on where they're posted. If they're in front of a bar, God only knows what happens, or weather, all those things take into account how long they last.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Conley, I want to thank you for always being willing to participate in our hearings. You're almost always on top of things, so I appreciate your comments today. Thank you, sir. Now we're going to move forward with the sponsor to close on his bill.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the committee. I would request that we pass Board Bill 144 with a due pass recommendation.
So moved.
I guess I'll second.
Okay.
Previous role.
Hearing no objection to previous roll, Board Bill 144 comes out of committee with a due pass recommendation. Okay, next order of business. I will excuse the Alderwoman from the 27th due to necessary absence, Madam Clerk. I just want to send a cheap plug out today to my daughter. Brittany Boyd is turning 28 today on 2/22/22. So I want to send a shout out to her. With that, anybody else have any announcements?
That means you're getting old.
You're right. I can't wait to get to be 60, 2 more years. A lot of good things gonna happen. God's gonna bless me abundantly when I turn 60. So I'm looking forward to it. Anybody else? Okay. With that, we will consider the HUD's meeting for February the 22nd, 2022 adjourned. Thank you, everybody.